Good morning, everybody. So, I wanted to do a quick presentation on surviving the holiday months when you have goals, when you're on a fitness journey, when you're trying to lose weight, any of these things, or just in general trying to be healthier. I want to teach you guys how to stay on track. Enjoy this season because this is my favorite time of the year. Basically, October, November, and December are my most favorite holidays and just family time. And really, there's no reason why we should be feeling any sort of guilt over exercise, over nutrition, or any of that during this season. So I think that one of the things that most people are probably used to is losing progress during this time. A lot of things start happening, busy schedules, traveling, Christmas parties, Halloween parties, Thanksgiving get togethers, Friendsgiving, all of this kind of stuff. Typically, people gain weight during this season. It doesn't have to be like this, but typically they do. So, what I want to do is try to help you guys avoid gaining 10 or 15 pounds in these 3 months and then having to do damage control in January. So I'm really hoping that these tips will help or resonate a little bit with somebody. So we also tend to fall into the all or nothing trap. If I can't do everything perfectly, I can't do all my workouts every single day and eat 100% on track, I have failed, and I might as well quit. Or dang it, I had a whole bunch of my kids' Halloween candy. And so, it's just really downhill from here. So I should just quit until at least January. I had so much pie at Thanksgiving. I might as well just throw in the towel until January, right? So, this is very normal for people to think this way. But I want to get you guys out of that mindset, in that we don't have to have everything perfect to still make things happen. Okay. So, we can adjust our plan, but not adjust our goals. So during this time, we can adjust how we're handling the holidays, how we're handling our workouts, how we're handling our nutrition, instead of just saying, screw it. All right, so let's talk about that consistency thing that I've been bringing up a lot lately. So let's just say that from now until Christmas or the holidays or, this whole time, so basically October 1st all the way through the end of December until January 1st, right? There's going to be times where we cannot eat on plan. We probably can't get our workout in, and that is okay. So let's just say for fun that we take off 3 days around Halloween time. We don't track our calories. We probably eat some Halloween candy. We go to a Halloween party, all of that. Okay. Let's say we take a week off at Thanksgiving because I don't know about you guys, but I think my kids have the whole week off. So we might have family in town. I'm not tracking. I'm making big meals. It's not really possible for me to track everything those days. And then same thing, let's say for Christmas time or any other holiday, insert holiday around this time that, we take another week off, let's say. So maybe we're not working out at all, or we're not eating on plan that time. Okay. Let's put it into perspective that you will still be 81% consistent all the other time during these holiday months, during October, November, and December, okay, even if you took off those times, some dates, let's say you don't need a whole week off of, for Thanksgiving, but you have a Halloween party this night or Thanksgiving party or Christmas party or whatever, you're going to not be on plan that day or not be on plan this day or not be on plan that day, okay? So it adds up to maybe a week. Well, that's a very small percentage of this entire time. And if you look at it in terms of like the entire year, it's nothing. Like it's so small. But it does mean that you need to be a little bit more consistent and on point. The other times, okay, so let's say that day we had a crap ton of our kids' Halloween candy. The next day, we need to be back on plan. Okay. So we were off. Now we're back on. Okay. Anyway, that was the math of this whole thing because I think it's important to note that this is why we shouldn't just say F it. All right, so progress can still be possible even during this time. So let's say that most of us are trying to be in a calorie deficit, which means we're eating less than our maintenance. Remember, maintenance is the amount of calories our body needs to just stay right where it's at, okay? Same, body fat, everything, just kind of right where it's at, maintaining. Well, let's say that we're in a calorie deficit most of October, but we went ham on that Halloween candy 1 or 2 days. It is likely that you might have gone into maintenance on those days. You were still in a calorie deficit all these other days, but you went into maintenance for, for Halloween basically, or for Thanksgiving or for Christmas. So it doesn't necessarily mean that we've ruined switching spots here, that we've ruined all of our progress. It means that we've shifted from calorie deficit to maintenance. So on those weeks we're in our calorie deficit, you could actually be still losing body fat. The scale can be moving. So let's say you lose 1 to 2 pounds a week being in that calorie deficit, but for 1 week, in November, you couldn't track, but you were eating more at maintenance level. Maybe you're just going to stay the same. You're going to stay right there at maintenance, staying the same and not gaining, not losing, but also not gaining. So that's going to be the trick, right? Is not gaining during this time. Okay. So we have to also think about maintenance as being a strategy. It's not failure. And sometimes we can have that Halloween candy or that piece of pie, and it just puts us into that maintenance level. Okay. So you're not undoing all of your progress just by 1 day or 2 days or any of that. What happens after is where things can go awry. So if you decide, F it, and you ate all this Halloween candy, so now you are just going to blow the entire October, November, and December and go into surplus all of the days of the month. Now we have a situation, right? But I want you to shift that perspective that you're not undoing anything by a few days. Okay. All right. So our main plan here is we're going to adjust. We're not going to quit. Okay. So when things get crazy, life gets busy, we don't have to stop working out. Maybe we scale it back. So we could have shorter workouts. So maybe right now we're working out 30 minutes a day for 5 days, but things are getting crazy. The holidays are around. Now we're going to actually scale it back to 15 minutes 3 times a week or twice a week. So you're going to keep your workouts. You're just going to scale them back to a doable amount. Same thing with our nutrition. We're going to be flexible. We maybe can't eat on track, but we're going to try to eat at maintenance, or we're going to be mindful about things that we're eating. Sometimes we're not going to be mindful. So I want that to be okay too, that sometimes we won't be mindful. That we're going to make smart swaps and not restrict. So maybe we want to have, let's say, we go to a Christmas party or a holiday party and we want to have a glass of wine. Maybe I won't go hit up the dessert tray. Maybe I'll have the glass of wine, but I'm not going to hit up the desserts. Or maybe I don't really care about the wine, so I'm going to hit up the desserts. Or shoot, maybe I'm actually going to have them both, and that's okay too. Because remember, it's not about restricting. And it's literally that's literally 1 day. Okay. So we have to think about it like that. But think about too what's important to you. So for me, I'd rather probably have the piece of cake or the dessert than the wine. Okay, so think about stuff that's more important to you, make some smart swaps, and then just remember, adjust the plan, not the goal. So the goal is going to stay the same. You're going to adjust the plan on how we're going to get there during this time. So there's some different ways we can stay active too during these months, because maybe that's a struggle. Keep up your steps. So try to hit, 10,000 is kind of an arbitrary number, but I like to say, think about where you're at right now, stepwise, and increase from there. So, like, let's say you're super sedentary and you're getting like 2,000 steps a day. See if you can get 3 or 4,000 steps a day and just keep building on that. If you're very active, then try to get the 8 or 10,000 steps a day. And just most importantly, like, find things you enjoy and move your body. Okay, take the stairs, take a little walk after you eat. Those are things that are going to help counteract some of the stuff that goes on during this month. Adjust your workout. So we talked about that a little bit in the last slide. So remember, maybe instead of 4 to 5 sessions a week that last an hour, maybe now you're doing 2 to 3 shorter sessions that last 20 or 30 minutes. I mean, geez, like I am such a proponent of 10 or 15 minute workouts. Like that's my jam. So I would much rather do a shorter workout that doesn't take up a large chunk of my day. So I'm all for that, but keep it really simple. And maybe even during those weeks that are super hectic and crazy, you scale it back a lot. And maybe you just do one exercise once a day, 3 sets of 10. And that's it. You pick an exercise. Today I'm going to do squats, 3 sets of 10. Today I'm going to do some shoulder press, 3 sets of 10. Today I'm going to do chest press, 3 sets of 10, and so on and so forth. But literally, like that could be 5 minutes of your time, but you are still doing something that keeps you feeling like it keeps you going. It keeps fueling your movement and your exercise. Okay, that stuff's consistent too. And then again, adjusting your nutrition. So I kind of talked about this too, but during parties, focus on some protein. Make sure that you're portion controlling. That's an option too. So, you can have whatever they're having, but maybe just eat half of it. Or if you get like some big giant portion of something, scale it back. So just kind of adjusting things as necessary. And really importantly, enjoy, like, do not have guilt during the holidays, no matter what. Like, if you eat 17 pieces of the kids' Halloween candy, don't feel guilty about it. Okay. Like, guilt is not an ingredient. Guilt is like, it's irrelevant to this equation. So, we're going to work on enjoying food without anxiety because remember, the holidays are like family time, love, like food is very social. So, why do we want to associate that with guilt? Okay, we're not going to do that. We're going to reframe and we're going to also say, okay, instead of thinking, I messed up, I'll restart later. I messed up, I'm going to, I'm going to quit until January. I messed up. I failed. I this. We're going to reframe that whole mindset to, wow, I really enjoyed Thanksgiving dinner. Now I'm going to move forward. So I enjoyed the meal that I had. I enjoyed the time that I spent with my family. And now I'm going to move forward. And tomorrow I'm just going to go back to the way that like I was eating, on plan. Okay. So we're going to move forward. And then just remembering our consistency. So it's built over time and it's not ruined in one day or even in a week. Okay. So consistency, like you didn't gain all the weight in one day. It took time for this to happen, right? So it's going to take time for us to lose it, but consistency is the same. So we build it every single day that we're showing up in some way. And one day that we don't show up does not ruin all of our consistency. So let's also quickly talk about how to reset after we have some time off. So we're not going to punish ourselves. We're not going to be like, I need to do 12 hours in the gym and I really messed up. We're not going to restrict our calories like significantly. We're just going to go back to normal. So whatever your normal routine is, that's what we're going to go back to. So your normal calorie deficit, your normal workouts, you're going to get some sleep, you're going to hit your protein, you're going to drink lots of water, and you're going to move your body. Okay. This is how we're going to get back into things. Another thing to note too is that like progress is not about never falling off the wagon here. It's about how quickly we can reset. So I might have eaten all this Halloween candy or whatever, but on Monday, what am I going to do? I'm going to drink some water. I'm going to get my protein. I'm going to this. And that's where the magic happens. Okay? So this happened. Now what are we going to do about it? And then just some quick tips are remembering that we're going to be consistent, not perfect. So perfection is not going to happen. We're just going to aim to show up and be as consistent as we can. We're going to adjust our workouts accordingly. So whatever is happening, like write it down. So write down the months October, November, and December, and then outline out what is happening these months that can derail your progress. Okay. So October, we're going to write down Halloween or whatever other things are going on during this time. November, I'm going to write down Thanksgiving week. Okay. And December, I'm going to write down Christmas week for me. But it could also be Hanukkah. It could be any other holidays during this time that can affect your nutrition or fitness. We're going to write all that down. Then we're going to make a plan that during those weeks, here's what we're going to do instead. Here's what we're going to do to mitigate any damage during that time. And then we're always going to choose memories over guilt. So we're making memories. Now, I'm not making memories if I'm stuffing the Halloween candy while hiding in the closet. That's not making memories, but it happens too. But like Thanksgiving, I'm making memories with my family over food. Same with Christmas. I want to make some cookies. I want to make some treats. Like we're making memories. We're not going to have guilt. And then always like the most important thing is reset. So whatever happens, you're going to reset and we're going to start over, okay? Well, not start over, but we're going to get back on plan. So this is kind of my tips. I think that there is no reason why we can't do this. But the biggest thing is going to be the shift in the mindset of you're not failing, you haven't messed up. If this happens, you have planned for it. Because remember, we're going to write this down. We're going to say, these are the months. Here's my potential, issues. And we're going to plan for these issues, or not even issues, but you know what I mean? So we're planning for the stuff that's going to go on, that's going to impact our fitness and our nutrition during these months. And then we're going to take some action. So we're not flying by the seat of our pants. We're not like this week showed up and now I feel like trash because I'm having such guilt over eating pie or whatever. We are going to be ready for it. We're going to be proactive. We're not going to be reactive. So let's let this be the year that everything changes with our mindset. Okay. So I'm here. I want you guys to message me. I want you guys to trust me. I want you to remember that you're not in this stuff alone. All of us are doing this. Everyone should be doing this. So, your health is important. And the other thing that's also important is remembering that we can still enjoy things. We can still have foods we really, really like, even if they're quote unquote bad. They're not, they're just have them in moderation. But just remember that these months don't have to be where you put on 10 or 15 pounds. And they certainly don't have to be where you're like, F it, I'm just going to try again in January. We are not going to say that this year. Okay. All right. Let me know if you guys have any questions and bye.